Hello, everybody, and welcome to Gene's Reviews. Reviews from a regular dude, where I do trailer reactions, I react to YouTube videos, I review YouTube channels. Occasionally, I'll review a movie, but really, I just do whatever the hell I want. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Gene's Reviews. Reviews from a regular dude, down in the basement. Today, we're going to check one out. It's called It's a Portal to Hell. So let's check this one out. It says, early Christians, as well as Hebrews, Assyrians, Greeks, and other ancient cultures believe that such dimensional gateways exist and can be opened between the material world and the spiritual.
There is a mysterious ancient castle hidden deep within the mountains of the Czech Republic. Legend has it that this castle was built directly on top of a gateway into hell. Local folklore describes the portal as a bottomless pit which entities used as a physical entrance into our world. Join us as we investigate the legend of Hell's Gate at Hauska Castle.
I've never heard of this.
Welcome to Castle Hauska. There is no reason for this structure to exist way out here in the middle of nowhere. This is the inner courtyard, gentlemen, where many horrific events have taken place. We unearthed 3 Nazi soldiers who were executed. We have a prominent writer who stayed here during the end of the 1800s and reported that he saw winged black creatures flying around this courtyard where we stand right now.
I want what he's on.
Normally one would consider demonic and demons. What we're standing on right now used to be a hole going so far down that no one knew its depths. The villagers, they saw a half-human and half-animal-like creatures. They believe that this is the gates of hell. When this structure began construction, they took all the prisoners from the local prison, they gave them a death party. If they would allow themselves to be lowered into the hole, they would be set free. First prisoner went down. After a few seconds, he began screaming bloody murder. He had white hair, wrinkles, looked like he had aged several decades in several minutes. He went to the insane asylum and died 2 days later of unknown causes.
Hauska Castle was a...
Well, if he's dead, hopefully he's at peace. Who knows, though? Maybe he just shouldn't have been messing with something like that.
Early Gothic structure built between the years 1253 and 1278, and folk legends surrounding the castle make for a chilling.
It's absolutely amazing to me how, like, on a big hill like that, in, what do you say, what year, I can't remember, but way back then, to build something like that, it's got to be all by hand and everything. It's crazy. That would be hard now to do.
Tale. The legends hold that Hauska Castle was built on top of an apparent bottomless pit in the hole that locals contend led straight into hell. And what's worse, it didn't just lead to hell, but it also led hell into our world, as the villagers were terrified of half-human and winged creatures which would emerge and confine the villagers to their homes at night. Legend has it that during its construction, the pit was used as a form of justice in that the condemned were offered a reprieve if they agreed to be lowered into the abyss and report on its depth. As the legend goes, one unfortunate man was lowered down only to let loose a series of agonized screams. When he was pulled out, he had aged 30 years instantly. He had gone in a young man, and when he came out, he was withered, old, and grave, and not to mention raving mad. This castle sat undisturbed for nearly 700 years, until the 1940s when the Nazis came and took over the castle. Today's visitors can tour the castle, which housed Nazis and legendary demons. Some visitors have reported hearing a chorus of screams emanating from the chapel floor that was built over the hole, as well as
those evil Nazis ought to have felt right at home there.
Clawing and scraping noises. The Bible makes it clear that portals like this not only exist, but have been used throughout history as a way for the unseen entities to gain access into our world and manipulate mankind. Ephesians 6:12, quote, "For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places. Now, let's take a look at the legend that surrounds Hauska Castle. If you go to the website atlasobscura.com, they have a nice article written out about this castle. Quote, in the second half of the 13th century, a mysterious Gothic castle was built. It wasn't near any water, it wasn't strategically important, and it didn't seem to have anyone living in it. According to local legend, it was meant to trap demons. Supposedly, a gate to hell opened on the craggy Czech mountain. The castle was constructed around the portal, and a chapel was plopped directly on top of the hole to keep evil monsters from spilling out of the underworld and slipping into the human realm. Folklore says the supposed gate to hell was so deep no one could see.
I've got a question. Do you think maybe it's not literally like perched on the gates to hell or whatever, but it's like a huge giant Ouija board? They did some kind of stuff there, and that's what brought it all in. And it's been there ever since.
See the bottom of it, and those who did attempt to enter the dark orifice encountered demonic human-animal hybrids. People claim cars won't start near the castle, and strange, bleeding beasts still roam the area after dark. The article goes on to say, Nazis occupied the fortress during World War II, and multiple myths abound about their supposed occult involvement there. If this truly is built on top of some sort of portal into another world, it makes total sense why the Nazis would occupy it. We all know about the Nazis' heavy involvement in occult practices.
Yeah.
The Vril Society is just one example of that. It's a documented fact that the Nazis were heavily into black magic rituals and human sacrifice. Now let's go check out another website called TresBohemies.com. They have an article entitled The Frightening Legend of Hauska Castle. Let's read this together. Hauska Castle is a Czech clifftop castle shrouded in dark myths and legends. It was originally constructed in the 13th century between 1253 and 1278 AD during the reign of Ottokar II of Bohemia. The castle, which was built in the early Gothic style, is located about an hour north of Prague, on top of a steep, rocky cliff in the Czech countryside. It is thought to be one of the most haunted locations in the world. At first glance, the castle seems quite ordinary, but upon closer inspection, one notices a few strange features. Firstly, many of the castle's windows are actually fake. If you look closely, you'll see that most of the windows are merely facades, glass panes behind which sturdy walls are built. Secondly, the castle has no fortifications, no water source, no kitchen, and for years after it was constructed, there were no occupants. This makes it clear that Hauska Castle was not built as a prospective sanctuary or a residence.
So the windows are just
location
cosmetic.
of the castle is also peculiar. It is situated on a remote area surrounded by thick forests, swamps, and sandstone mountains. The location has no strategic value and is not situated near any trading routes. Many people have wondered why Hauska Castle was built in such a strange location. Ancient legends may be able to answer that question. According to folklore, Hauska Castle was constructed over a large hole in the ground, which was known as the gateway to hell. It is
He's
fabled
repeating
that the
a lot
hole
of stuff
was
here.
so deep that no one could see the bottom of it. Legend has it that half animal, half human creatures used to crawl out of the pit at night, and that black winged creatures used to attack locals and drag them down into the hole. It was believed that the castle was built to keep the evil in. The location of the castle was specifically chosen in order to cover up this mysterious pit from which the demonic creatures emerged at night. The castle chapel was specifically built over the bottomless pit in order to seal the evil in and keep demonic creatures from entering our world. But even today, over 700 years after the pit was sealed, visitors still claim to hear the scratching of creatures from the lower floors at night, trying to claw their way up to the surface. Others claim to hear a chorus of screams coming from beneath the heavy floor.
That made
When
me
the
get the hell
construction
out
of
of
the
there
castle
quick.
began, it is said that all the village's prisoners who had been sentenced to death were offered pardons if they agreed to be lowered by rope into the bottomless pit and then to report back what they saw. The first man was tied up and lowered into the hole, and a few seconds after he had disappeared into the darkness,
It's the third
he began
time we've heard this
screaming
story.
in horror and begged to be pulled back up. When the prisoner, who was a young man, was pulled back up to the surface, he looked like he had aged 30 years in the few seconds he was in the pit. His hair had turned white and he had grown extremely wrinkled. He was still screaming when they pulled him up to the surface. He had been so disturbed by what he experienced in the darkness that he was sent to an insane asylum. where he died 2 days later from unknown causes. According to the legend, the scratching of the winged creatures trying to claw their way to the surface can still be heard. Phantoms have been seen walking the empty halls of the castle, and Nazis specifically chose Hauska Castle in order to harness the power of hell for themselves. Multiple paranormal television shows have visited Hauska Castle and concluded that it is, in fact, haunted. Now, the most important thing to remember about all this is that Jesus Christ already defeated all these entities. Philippians 2, chapter 9, verse 11. Quote, "Therefore, God has highly exalted him and bestowed on him the name that is above every name, so that at the name of Jesus every knee should bow, in heaven and on earth and under the earth, and every tongue confess that Jesus Christ is Lord, to the glory of the Father." End quote. What do you guys think of this? Do you think the legends are correct and it was built on top of some sort of portal into another dimension? Or is it just folklore meant to keep the locals scared? Let me know what you think. Please leave a comment below. And if you haven't done so already, please hit the like button. And don't forget to subscribe to this channel. And until next time, thank you all for watching. God bless you all.
Well, at first I was thinking it was like a great big giant Ouija board and they messed with stuff they shouldn't have been messing to and invited all this crap in. But now I kind of believe it could be true. It could really be a portal into hell. Who knows? I'm never going to go there to find out, so I'm not that brave. Now, how about a joke? Get this lady is talking to her husband and she says, "I feel horrible. I look old, fat, and ugly. I really need you to pay me a compliment." And the husband says, "Well, your eyesight's damn near perfect." Thank you, everybody. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, hashtag MeanGene, all that fun stuff. And if you like this video, tell all your friends, leave a comment down below. And if you didn't like it, then just shut up. And I will see you next time.